The first trailer of the Black Widow movie looks promising, and it seems like we are in for quite a ride when it hits theaters in May 2020. Finally, Marvel is all set to tell us much more about the life and backstory of the Black Widow, which till now has been as cryptic as some of her infamous missions. One of the many interesting things that the trailer gave us is the Black Widow's family. So in this video, we are going to talk about who they are and how big of an impact they had on Natasha's life. So without further ado, let's dive right into it.
Is that what we are?
Natasha Romanoff joined the secret Soviet spy training program at a very young age. And as we know, she was trained along with a bunch of other people in that infamous Red Room. Soviet's spy program was more focused towards crafting and grooming deadly assassins than training super soldiers like Captain America, and there's a very good reason for that. As USSR started this program during the Cold War, and if you know some real history, then you might be aware with the fact that this was the time when the two superpowers, USA and USSR, were involved in an espionage battle rather than a head-on conventional war. Thus they needed more highly skilled spies than some super soldiers. So since Black Widow was enrolled at a very young age in the Red Room program, she had little time to spend with her actual family. As a matter of fact, she never knew who her father was until much later in her life. And she doesn't have a biological sister. The one that she refers to as sister in the trailer is actually a spy named Yelena Belova, who herself is a highly capable assassin and was trained in the Red Room along with the Black Widow. Yelena is an interesting character, and you can bet that she will have a major role to play in the movie, as in the comics, she goes on to become the second Black Widow after Natasha Romanoff defected from the Soviets and went on to join the S.H.I.E.L.D. You see, Black Widow is just some sort of code name or more like a title, and thus more than one people have taken on the title of the Black Widow, including Natasha's so-called sister, Yelena. Yelena might not share blood relation with Natasha, but given the fact that they spent years training together, sort of explains why they share the bond that they do. Which brings us to the character of Alexei, that is the Red Guardian, played by David Harbour. Now he is a real family to the Black Widow, as they two were married in the comics, and they lived happily until Alexei was chosen to join the secret Russian program called the Red Guardian, which was basically the Soviets' response to US Captain America. For this super secret mission of Red Guardian, Soviets had to fake Alexei's death, and they kept the truth even from the Black Widow. So she lived her life believing him to be dead, until one day when she suddenly finds that the Soviets have been lying to her the whole time. Even though the Red Guardian has mainly been depicted as a villain in the comics, but he always had a feeling for Natasha and has in fact sacrificed his life to protect her. And from the trailers, it seems like we would see the good side of Red Guardian, as he would be helping Black Widow in her mission rather than trying to stop and apprehend her. It is important to point out here that although Red Guardian is supposed to be Soviet Union's version of Captain America, he has no super soldier serum like Winter Soldier or Steve Rogers. So basically Red Guardian is a super trained soldier without any superhuman strength, durability or speed. Another major female character that we see in the trailer is Melina Vostokov, also known as the Iron Maiden. She too was originally an agent of the Russian government and was forced to live in the shadow of the legendary Black Widow. This caused her to develop a deep hatred for Natasha, but she eventually left the service of Russia and became a freelance assassin and a mercenary. And in the trailer we see her get along with Black Widow, Red Guardian and Yelena. So it seems like these three are planning some sort of revolt against their former masters. Here let us just talk about Natasha's childhood for a minute, because I think that will help us understand who she really is. Romanoff was raised from a very early childhood by the USSR's Black Widow Ops program, rather than solely by her parents. She was taken to the Department X with other young female orphans, where she was brainwashed and trained in combat and espionage at the covert Red Room facility. There she is biotechnologically and psiotechnologically enhanced, which tells us about her unusually long and youthful lifespan. During that time she had some training under Winter Soldier too. But the saddest and perhaps the darkest part of her growing up was the fact that she was deployed with false memories to help ensure her loyalty, something like what we saw with Kree and Carol Danvers in the Captain Marvel movie. But thankfully later in her life, Natasha eventually discovers the fact that she had never, as she had believed, been a ballerina, and to her surprise, she even discovers that the Red Room was still active. So there are a lot of moving pieces that the movie has to bring together, And Kevin Feige has even promised that it is going to be one of a kind spy movie that will change the course of the MCU. But we'll have to wait for more footage to see what he has been hinting towards. In this trailer, we didn't even have a good look at the main villain, the Taskmaster. But we saw many of his students who seemed to be dressed just like him. And with that, we'll bring this video to an end. Thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more upcoming content.